First of all, I never finished high school. Not because I didn't want to go to school, because I had to go to work at 14 years old to support my mother. I lost my father. My father died in my arms when I was 8 years old. He had a heart attack. His head was laying in my lap and lights out, gone. We spent upwards of $50 million a year just in marketing dollars for an array of 6,000 to 7,000 clients on a daily basis. And I finally started having health issues. And I seriously thought I was going to die. Something was wrong. I went to my doctor. He ran out every test known to man. 2 weeks after that, he called me up and he said, I don't care how much money you're making on so-and-so. It's called.
Bernard Porter is a serial entrepreneur and chairman and CEO of PCG Universal and Porter Jets, with decades of experience building businesses across entertainment, finance, tech, and hospitality.
Well, welcome to Take the Power Back. It's really all about promoting entrepreneurship for Gen Z. And it's really about changing the narrative that people think that this generation's got it up is a little bit off. And what I see is something different. So welcome, Bernard Porter.
Well, thank you, Jason, so much. And, thank you. I got excited the more I learned about your success and, the way you go about things with, pouring into people. And I've always had that same type of discipline, the give back factor, because so many have given back to me. I almost feel it's a responsibility, from that mentorship to pass it on.
Yes, pay it forward, right? As
Absolutely.
I always say, you've been able to take the things that you learn, put the arrows in the quiver, and that allows you to shoot and help people guide them on their way. So, Bernard, let's talk a little bit about, give us some background, because you've done a lot. If you go back and you look all the way from music to now insurance and many things in between, and I think you own a mansion and like some kind of historical mansion.
Yeah, that's the new boss. We're investing and pouring in, and I'm a big believer in surrounding yourself with beauty, and from my beautiful wife to my beautiful kids to my beautiful grandkids, and it's just God has really enriched my life and given me everything I could ever have wanted in life, and that's all from a way of mindset in life, and the way that I try to lead myself with excellence, in the way that I treat everybody equally, treat everybody respectfully, open those doors for ladies. If I see somebody's having a problem at the grocery store and, they're older and they need to load, I'll go up very calmly and say, may I help you? I don't want to scare them.
Yeah.
But I'm always out there looking for those duties that I'm supposed to have in this world in order to help this planet. And the reason why I'm so excited about what you're doing with the new generation is I got grandkids.
Yeah.
And I want this generation, to go out there and do well. And I always pray for those people that have ideas that can make this world a better place. God, give them those things that they need to be successful. Put the right thing, whether it be cleaning up our oceans, whether it be new inventions, new medications to help us have better lives. I pray that for those people that the angels around them or God around them that helps them achieve those objectives, because it makes our place a better world.
Particularly in today's AI generation, I think a lot of this generation is thinking, wow, I don't know what is going to happen to these jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to be replaced by a robot? The answer, in my opinion, I'm curious to get yours, is you're not going to be replaced by a robot, because people remember the way you make them feel.
Right.
But in order for them to remember the way you make them feel, you have to go out of your way to make them feel something. So that handwritten thank you note, that extra gratitude, the experience that they have and everything. Now, you've been in the restaurant business, you have the hotel business, you've been in a lot of different businesses. Tell me a little bit about your belief around how do you make those experiences special when it comes to the businesses that you participate or have started up or have been working in?
Well, I think that I always refer people to the first Matrix movie. Go watch that movie.
The red pill or the blue pill.
There's a lot of symbolism in that movie. There's a lot of education in this. But here you have a guy that is there to save the world, but he doesn't see it. But even his enemies see it, and they know he's there. But because he doesn't believe it, he doesn't have the power to overcome the objective. You have to start believing in your mind that you can accomplish something or you can do great things. Don't ever put yourself down in any sequence.
Right.
I was, a family member got in an accident. Luckily, they're okay. And they wanted me to go to them with them to pick up their car, and they had a lot of insurance things that were going on. And by coincidence, the girl that hit them was also there with their mother. And the mother came up and she said, well, I'm so sorry. Her daughter admitted she ran the red light, hit them. Luckily, everybody was okay. And I overheard the girl say, I don't know what God has against me. She's like,
interesting.
And I stopped her and I said,
Nothing.
I said, sweetie, this God had nothing to do with this.
No.
I said, you need to get over that mindset right now about those negative thoughts. You're empowering those negative things around you by having that type of thought process. You need to analyze the people. There were some people around her that actually, when she got in the accident, they left her at the scene. They just ran.
Really?
They were scared. I said, you need to analyze who the friends that you're hanging out with, number one.
Yep.
Okay. And you need to change your thought process. And she heard me. The neat thing about people like yourself and people of influence that, take the time is they will hear you. Her mother was probably telling her the same thing, but she was stopped in her tracks with me and she heard it. She was present.
Yeah.
Same things, same words, creating that respect and influence in the world. And when you do have that, that's when I look at some of these major artists out there. If they were to go in some type of campaign, they've got so much influence on a generation that they have tremendous power to change the world. I wish some of them would.
Yeah, they should use that power in order to make a difference.
Because they're heard.
That's right.
They're heard.
They are.
Imagine the power that possesses.
So you just said some really key things, and I want to make sure we really go into that. Number one is you are a factor of who you hang around with. And I think in life in general.
In your language, you ever been around somebody and maybe they're using bad words, and next thing you know, a couple hours you catch yourself doing it and you go, what? I don't normally do that.
That's right.
It's an influence on you. Be careful what you put yourself around, And
the other thing is dream big, I think is what you said, is you have to have you have to want and search out people that want a bigger table for you, that have a positive influence, and then that stop telling you to give up on your dreams and aspirations. I just think of how many times I hear in the news today about the young generation. They're lazy, they're entitled, they spend too much time on their phone. They just don't have the drive that we once had. And I don't believe that's true, right? Number one. And number two, if you listen to it as a person, that will infect your brain and ultimately become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Mm-hmm. So just the fact that what you're saying, which is have a bigger dream, be gracious, be a good human and a good person to people around you, and dream huge with the right people around you, will achieve wonderful things.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And when you look at my life story, first of all, I never finished high school. Not because I didn't want to go to school, because I had to go to work at 14 years old to support my mother.
Right.
Okay. I lost my father. My father died in my arms when I was 8 years old. He had a heart attack. His head was laying in my lap and lights out, gone. He was gone.
Wow.
Pretty traumatic start for me.
For 8-year-old.
So
Gosh.
I raised myself pretty much, and so my ladder of success, I had to climb a tremendous ladder just to get equal with a lot of you guys out there that have moms and dads and money behind you, whatever that may be. Just to be normal, I had to climb a tremendous ladder of success. And then, but luckily my mindset was there, I had an uncanny wisdom about myself to know right from wrong and treat everything. I get a lot of criticism because if I find a bug in the house, I will put him outside. I don't kill him.
You don't kill him.
I think life is, if it's a poisonous spider or something, a different thing. But I'm just that respectful of life, I don't like people that abuse animals, those types of things. I have a lot of respect for life, plant life, animal life, human life, very appreciative of everything, Well, I think we're living in one of the greatest times to live in all of humanity. I really do.
So I've often said this with people, all habits, and your frame on this is interesting to me, right? All habits, good and bad, feel good.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't make a difference. Drugs feel good if you do drugs.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't do drugs don't feel good. working out feels good if you work out, but if you don't work out, it doesn't feel good.
Exactly.
Right. So you get to choose the influences that you have in your life by making those and being conscious about those decisions rather than being influenced by others. Because we do, I think, as people know right from wrong. Like you said that when you were young, what you knew is right from wrong. And that was able to guide you and your compass to say, okay, I'm going to go do the right thing. But how did you find your way through that all of a sudden to, where did you start to find your footing? Growing up, your mom's single mom, your dad dies at a young age, you have to go to work at 14. Where does that pathway start to go left and right for you to find out what you want it to be?
Well, I think I was a good listener, and I also really put a lot of weight on my instincts about things and trust them. And that gave me the guidance that I needed. But, a lot of people that, luckily in that eye for talent, being able to recognize people that had talent and then listening to those people, as I've said in just about every podcast I've ever done, I'm an element of the mentors in my life that God put it in different phases of my life. Iconic people like Jay Bernstein, Hollywood manager, Stan Moress, iconic Nashville figure, Miles Bell, Sid Hudson, Nabil Kassir, Keith Horn, the musician, his father. A lot of people in my life that came on, Donna Mead, the artist, Pam Tillis, the artist, Mike Martinovich, who was marketing for Sony and did all the Garth Brooks. These were mentors and in some cases partners of mine.
So how did you get into that scene? Were you always into music? When you were,
I was a prodigy musician early in life.
Guitar, correct?
Yeah, guitar. And that led me into the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
It just kind of organically, in my mid-20s, I made a shift in it. Just because I wasn't tired of music. I was tired of all the stuff that went with it. The road, the partying.
Yeah.
Just to feel like you're not getting anywhere and just running yourself ragged.
Right.
But I was also smart enough to know, as in music, that I was a tremendous musician. I was a tremendous business person when it came to that stuff. I was a good singer, but I knew that I wasn't strong enough as a singer.
Really?
To be
at that level.
At the level of, I didn't have enough identity. I could mimic people,
right?
But I didn't have enough character as a singer to be able to become a superstar, and I was smart enough to know that. Now, could I have gone on and played in a band with a super? Yeah, I was strong enough to do that. But that's not what I wanted. So when I shifted gears, and it's almost like a light switch went off, I didn't want to do it anymore.
So talk about, so you're seeking talent. Is your ability to see talent in somebody a God gift as part of your prodigy?
Yeah.
Or is there something, or are there things that, as that being your talent, what are the things that you look for to be able to see that talent in people?
Here's what I figured out. It's not just about the music. I see talent in you. I see talent in your production producer over here. It's a blessing, but sometimes it's a curse. Sometimes you see things that scare you in someone. So it's what we call a discernment. I have a discernment about people, places, and things.
What's discernment mean? Like, I'm not sure.
Discernment is a special insight on something.
Okay.
That tells you what's within that person, what's in that place. You need to get out of this place, whatever.
So it's intuition for you. It's a natural thing where you're okay, I can see talent. Now, do you manifest that because you believe in people and then that brings out the best?
No, I just think it's a natural ability that I have, that even when I was a young kid, and, we didn't have a lot of supervision, but we would be, it finally got around even to the parents about, my insights, because they would all want to go down to the lake. And back in those days, we did things that they would never even dream of now.
You can't do that.
Here we are, 7, 8, 9 years old, going down to the lake with no supervision.
Right.
But we would do it. The parents would know. Is Bernard going with you? Yes. Okay, you
Then
can
it's
go.
okay.
Because they knew
There was intuition.
that if there was something, and a lot of times even the kids started trusting it because, maybe we would go sneak into, there's an apartment down the road that has a swimming pool and we're sneaking in at night swimming.
Yeah.
And I would be the one, it's time to leave. I would leave and then the police show.
Yeah, right. Just right before, never get caught.
When I leave, they leave.
Everything's with me, right?
That's how keen it was.
Yeah, that's cool. So as you think about all the mentors and the people that you said that sort of helped you in your career, what was it about those people? What were the qualities that you probably obviously possess today that made you give you the ability to be led? Because you have to be vulnerable to be led a little bit. You have to be honest with yourself, and you have to want to grow. What are the qualities that were able to get you to follow or be led by people to help mentor you?
Well, we all have the gifts. The one gift that I had, as we've already talked about, is that discernment and insight.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, one mentor was a very sharp dresser.
Yeah.
Very European style, that kind of. I studied him. I would pull from that. I learned. I'd watch every time he'd come in. I would watch what he wore, how he did it, and I would absorb it, Or it could be the way that somebody handles their phones. I used to love to listen to he was a senior partner of the firm, and there was actually two of them in the same firm, Miles Bell, Robert Williams. They were senior partners. I was an associate, okay? And I would just I asked them, can I just sit and watch you on the phones? Because the way they handled the phones was incredible.
Was it just talking to people or negotiating?
It was both.
It was both.
But it was the way they would humor them, the way they would get down to business, or even when they had a problem, the way they would handle it. And I would just be making notes. Now, did I try to emulate it just like them? No. It's called influence.
Yeah.
Pull an influence from Miles, pull an influence from Robert, pull an influence from Stan Moress. And that became my influence in the same way that when you look at Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson is a little bit James Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Jackson is a little bit Little Richard.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of Elvis Presley with look at what he pulled.
Yeah.
The loafers with the white socks and standing on his feet. That was a complete rip from Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
And Elvis ripped it from somebody.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's all congruent as far as those. But it's what makes Michael Jackson pulling all those and making him.
Right.
Pulling iconic things. So I pulled iconic things from iconic people.
This is important, right? Because I say this a lot of times. I think the world has become very casual, right? And you can really never be overdressed, but you can most of the time be underdressed.
That's right.
Dress for the job that you want, not for the job that you have, right? In your communication skills, what you said was you recognize that these people have a gift. They're very talented at what they do. So I can take and learn and develop my communication skills and ultimately put those together. And what leads to confidence? Where did the confidence piece come for you?
I think so. It's about, going back to the Matrix moving, is believing that you're the one, believing that you're special, believing that I'm going to achieve this. Speak it to the world. Don't hold back. Don't just think it. In the morning when you wake up, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to achieve great sales today. I'm going to meet someone special today. I'm going to overcome this objective. Say it to the world. I believe there's a magic in it. Write it down. There are lists and everything that I write down. Pen to paper. I believe there's something magic about it. Making that list. I just had to sit down with my son the other day. I said, son, I gave him a pad. I said, I want you to start listing out all these things. At the end of the day, you mark through them. This is what's accomplished. Put the new ones on the next day. Yeah. Watch how that works for you. His productivity already in just a few days has gone up because of it.
These are affirmations though, right? So most of the things that we say to ourselves as people are negative, right? In general, I think over time, you train yourself not to think negative thoughts, right?
Yes.
But what you're talking about is affirmations. You're basically saying you are good enough. You are going to work hard. You are going to meet people. You are going to make that sale. You are going to do that. But did that ever infect you as a younger person, being like, I don't know if I'm in the right place. I'm not sure what I was doing. And sometimes you listen to those and sometimes you don't. Is there a filter that you apply to it?
Well, there had to be for me because when I didn't finish school,
yeah,
I used to have nightmares about that.
Interesting.
That I was never going to become anything because you were not able to finish school. But then I was having a hard time going back and saying, I'm going to get my GED and go to college because I was making money. I had influence. People calling me. They were, had gone through college and asking me for advice. And then I finally came to the conclusion, that's nothing but the devil trying to keep me down.
That's what it is.
And I finally got over it.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the longest time, that haunted me.
Welcome to Take the Power Back. If you're a student or recent grad looking not to have a career handed to you, you're in the right place. The first and really valuable section inside Take the Power Back by joining the movement is really the inspiration that you get by watching the podcasts of young, successful entrepreneurs that have bet on themselves, that had opportunities in order to be able to take jobs with benefits or $50,000 a year salaries. But what they did is they said, I'm going to pursue something bigger in my life. Entrepreneurship, leadership development, sales, marketing, real estate. And with the amount of inspiration that you can get by actually watching other people that have had success, start to give you a vision for yourself for you to be able to achieve greater things in your life. Let's dive into it. So how did you go from being mentored by these people that were very influential positions to then doing it yourself? Or did you go as a partnership with somebody else? And how did that come together?
Well, I had several great partnerships, and then it came the day when I decided I wanted to get out and jump out on my own, and it was supported by my partners and started out. And then I, from that point, kind of got in, luckily, from a cold call, into managing iconic artists, and mentoring them and driving them and increasing their brand identity out there, which turned into more work. And then took all the things that I learned and just kind of organically got into the development side of young artists.
So you just cold called artists?
No, it wasn't actually a cold call. One thing, I always tell people, one thing leads to another.
Okay. Connected the dots.
Yeah, be careful. This situation, will lead to something else if you nurture it, if you work it, but be attuned to what's walking in. You never know what can walk in the door.
Right.
Be kind to everybody.
That's right.
Okay.
Give everybody the opportunity.
Yeah. So from when COVID happened, it focused me to make a change because of the fact that when you looked at our business model, these prodigies were coming in from all over into these cities. Well, that just got cut off.
Right. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, that was a in-person type thing. So I had to diversify very quickly, and it was almost kicked out into the general market.
Wow.
And that diversification is what helped me figure out that my skill sets and discernment and work ethic and style, or whatever you want to call it, work very well in other industries.
So which industry was the first one you went in after that?
Technology.
Okay. And talk about your technology company.
Yeah, we premier client generation, lead generation company, primarily for insurance companies and financial companies. Okay, we spend upwards of $50 million a year just in marketing dollars.
Wow.
For an array of 6,000 to 7,000 clients on a daily basis. Okay. Plus, from that, we can have recruiting programs that if you're in an insurance company and you're trying to recruit more agents and build your team, we have recruiting methods through email campaigns and technological advancements to help you with that. And we have teams that we built in the thousands clients that we've done that for.
So in the leads, so you building them specific to each company, or do you go to like a smart asset, where people somehow they nurture the lead and then they sell the lead?
Well,
or are they doing
what
both?
we do is we have for whatever industry, and we don't just do this in the financial and insurance industry. We can do it in any industry.
Right.
It's just a majority of our business is the insurance and financial. But the basic prototype is we put a proven ad in whatever your industry is, let's say the insurance and financial industry out there. It's quick, it's to the point. We put it online and we put it in front of somebody at some point has expressed interest in that.
Yeah.
So that's how they're targeted.
So you draw them in that way. Yeah.
They go see the proven ad. Well, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. Boom, it's in your face.
They fill it out. And that lead immediately goes to the client
Okay.
via text message and email. Here, so-and-so wants you to call them. This is what they're interested in, this product. Call them immediately. That's what it says.
Right.
I always say it takes two to tango in this industry.
That's right. Always.
In the technology company, we're a lot like Costco. And what I mean by that is we've all been to Costco when we've enjoyed that Friday when you go in and they're doing the sampling and you can go to sample after sample. We can get you on the floor. We can get your product on the floor. We can get that customer up to that stand, and when they take that cracker with your cheese on it and they put it in their mouth, we can get you that far. When it gets to the palate, it's on you.
Yeah, you got to take care of it from there.
You got to take care of it. It's got to taste good. And then from that point, you have to motivate. Oh, did you like that? Yeah, but it's the best cheese I've ever tasted in my life.
Right.
It's right over here in the box.
It's another one.
Go get it in your basket.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting because we talked about this before we jumped on here. I consider myself a consumer of everything, right? So I'm constantly buying stuff, but the buying experience for the most part in most industries when it comes to salespeople are not as good as you would think they should be, right? And a lot of it has to do with people just don't follow up or do what they say they're going to do.
That's right.
And you can't control that as a lead generation person. You get the lead, you brought them all the way to the cart. But if you don't call, text, email, follow up, pursue with intention aggressively and try to help that person, and you just, call, leave a message and never call them back, it's not on you, it's on them.
Yeah.
Why do you think people are that way?
I don't understand it, but I'm not sure that it may be because maybe that's not what they're supposed to be doing. I think you have to be very careful before you get into this industry. You have to love it. You have to love talking to people. You have to be able to overcome objection.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not take it personal.
Not take it personal. Because they make, what we have found through our lead generation program is 75% of those leads that come in, there is opportunity.
Right.
Okay. 25% of them are tire kickers.
Yeah.
They're looking for a new job. They're looking for a savior in the world to help them get through it. And so you're going to have to just deal with that in your mindset and not let that get you down. Here we go with the enemy.
That's the devil, right? Yeah, right.
Oh, you're just wasting your time. Oh, you don't need to call those people anymore. Oh, this isn't a real lead. All of our stuff is not resold. We do not resell leads. When your lead comes in through your system, that is your property.
Yeah.
That's the way that works. A lot of these companies out there resending and reselling. Now, it doesn't mean that lead person may not have signed up in another program. So if it shows up somewhere else, it's because maybe they're out there looking around and they filled out our form, they filled out this form, that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course.
We just will not do that.
Right.
It's your money, it's your time, you're putting your ad out, and it's been a very successful. And it's also enabled me to do all these other things that we're doing in other businesses.
So you've got. We were just talking about this earlier, and I'm in a similar situation. You're ahead of me in terms of because you've been doing more of this longer. But I have 7 businesses right now between Take the Power Back, the Greatness Lab, FFA. I have bought a restaurant and building a restaurant, so I have 2 restaurants. Oh wow! Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
And this is in Florida.
In Florida, yeah.
Okay.
And a property casualty business, and it's been crazy. Like it's hard. I never imagined it to be as complex as it is. How do you manage the complexity? For those entrepreneurs out there that are doing different things and making moves, how do you formulate that in your head to get through all the complexities?
Well, I think that you have to give yourself what I call a brain dump.
Okay.
Take that pad, write down all of those things, bullet point them.
Yeah.
Then go back and say, what are the top 3 that I'm going to attack today?
Because you can't do them all.
You can't do them all.
No, you can't do them all.
And just go at it from a very orderly point of view and objective. And don't drive yourself crazy. And get all angst out over whatever that may be. Yeah. Because that doesn't do any good. All that's doing is taking energy.
No, it does take energy, yeah. Because sometimes you get overwhelmed by the list rather than simplifying, scheduling your priorities. What are the things that make the biggest impact to move the ball forward? and focus on those things,
Right.
Just and then cross them off the list, The list gets bigger and it goes smaller and it gets bigger and
Yeah.
it evolves. It should never get smaller, right?
Yeah, but move those out of the way that you can to keep it, within perspective. You know, you can't have the whole book full of things, then you might get in trouble.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to get them all done, right?
So, that's pretty much my system of things.
Just try to prioritize the top 3. And I think that for young people too, with all of the, what am I going to do today? There's so much to do. I don't know what to do. There's so much I could do. I can't focus on anything. It's probably easiest just to write down the most things that are going to impact your life to help you achieve your goals the quickest. I would think it would be the
And don't be afraid to ask for advice. Talk to someone you respect. You'll be amazed how nice people can be sometimes.
Right.
Just say, hey, can I take you for coffee? I'd really like to learn more about your industry.
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
If a young person has the
absolutely
confidence to come up and say that, I'm always mentoring these young people wherever I go.
Which is amazing.
Luckily, it's a draw for whatever reason. They say, you're a little bit of a different character here. It's like yesterday I went and got a phone. I got my wife and I the new iPhone. And the guy the salesperson was really interested in me. And he said, what do you do? And he just really, and I told him the basics of it and that kind of thing. And he said, well, I've been thinking about looking for something different. And I was impressed with him. Well, you give me a call.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take you from your job.
No.
But since you brought it up,
right,
I mean, I'm glad to put you in touch with the people that will interview you. And I'm impressed with you. You seem intelligent. You're very polite. The way you presented yourself when I walked in this store, I said, you got a lot of good quality, son. He needed to hear that.
Discernment, right? This goes back to your original point where you can see the talent in somebody and you said, well, you've got that. But now if they're even pursuing to learn more, it shows that you are correct in your discernment.
Yeah. And, not everybody is religious. I'm not here to push religion on anybody. But as far as me personally, guys, what I have figured out in the world, which I believe to be true, is God is my partner in everything that I do. He really, really is. I'm not just saying that to like trying to convince somebody I am some good person or whatever that, hey, I've made mistakes out in the world. It's normal. It's just, but God is the ultimate venture capitalist. God is the ultimate copyright holder, and I am always in prayer, to a fault. And I'm so glad that God laid this on me at one time because I was worried. I was engagement with God so much at one time. I was worried that I was being disrespectful because of the fact that I wasn't bowing my head. I'd be in the car talking to him just like you and me are in the car. Yeah. And then God laid it on me in Thessalonians. There's a little passage that says, pray without ceasing.
You mean you got to live.
So if I'm going to pray without ceasing, how can I do that when I'm driving a car, when I'm taking a shower? And then, so it made me feel better about the fact that, yes, there are some times when I'm more reverent with him. But I believe that everything that you look at, everything that you think about, everything that you do has a cause and effect on your life.
Yes.
It's going to come in through dreams, through situations, through activities. And so be very guarded about that. I have to be careful about who I'm around. Not that I think I'm better than anybody. I pray for everybody. But there are some people that are they're time wasters. You have to know time is such a precious thing. And the older that we get.
Yeah, the less it is. We appreciate it more.
We do. We can't buy time.
No, sir. We cannot buy time.
You've hit some real licks in the world, brother.
Yeah.
With some of the things that you've pulled off. It's overly impressive about what you've done.
I think you're very fortunate.
But even with all of that, it's just we can't go to Target and buy more time.
No.
We can buy anything else, though.
That's right.
Can't buy that.
Steve Jobs, his time was up.
Yeah.
God took him home no matter what. All the money in the world couldn't solve his health problems.
Yeah, case in point.
Case in point, right?
So utilize that and cherish that and, be present. Be present. Most people are not present.
Yeah, they're all over the place these days, especially the young people.
You know, you see people present where? At a funeral.
Yeah.
Or they're present there, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or let's say a baby's born and everybody's admiring the baby from the window. It's a beauty there. It's a presence there. You're present. Let's try to be consciously more present. I'll give Taylor Swift one time. I'll give it Taylor Swift creds here, rather. The one time I met her, and this was about midway through her career, and I was in a group of people. We were standing in the lobby of a hotel. But when she spoke to me, she was present, boy.
It's right at you.
She didn't deviate. Yeah. All the people are oohing and ahhing and people taking camera phone pictures. Boy, I was impressed. She was boom
right
there.
on there.
Remember the name? Well, Bernard, so good to see you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Very respectful.
Yeah.
Very respectful. So what is next for Bernard? So you're 65. You've got 7 businesses. You know, what's next? What is next for you?
I think I'm hoping that my partner, the Almighty, continues to put me in a position to be a light. And thank you, sir, for putting me here today to be that light. This is something that somebody may be hearing me today that needs to hear this, that maybe it corrects their whatever that is. And I'm hoping that that's the case. I really love that. And I think that, again, that it's because you're there too, it's our responsibility.
It is.
You know, to sew back in and give back and have people that they can get excited about and energized by. Because with this podcast, save it. Come back to it.
Yeah.
Listen to it. You know, I'm a student of Jim Rohn.
I left Jim Rohn.
Yeah. If you young people out there have not studied Jim Rohn, go to Audible, go wherever you're doing your books, your listening books, study that man. That man had
wisdom for years and years. Good stuff.
I go back to his books. I bet you I've read them 30 times.
Yeah.
I keep going back and going back and going back, and I'll forget something, learn it again. But it just
yeah, and you know what's funny about things like that with reading books for me personally? I remember the first time I was told to read, and I did, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't get why this book is so, loved and cherished and one of the best business books. Years later, I read it and I was like, wow, this is the most valuable book I think I've ever read at that period of time, because the teacher will arrive or show up when the student is ready to learn. So with this podcast or with Jim Rohn, when you go back to things, you will pick up different experiences and you'll get different wisdom and knowledge just because it's a different time in your life. You know, when your perception of what you thought has changed over time as you've become more confident or more successful or on your journey to trying to find that, it really is interesting to see how that, it doesn't matter if you keep reading it and you keep reading it and you keep reading it. It's like the Bible. You can, the more you read it, the more you'll take from it and be able to apply that in your life in the moment because of what your experiences are right now.
Yeah, more is uncovered each time.
Every time.
I believe that the Leading an Inspired Life by Jim Rohn should be required reading for every young person in the world. Inspired
Life by Jim Rohn. You folks heard it.
Yeah, Leading an Inspired Life. If that has got so much wisdom in it, it is so important. I mean, he covers everything in that. So highly recommend that for you.
So if you're, as we wrapped out this thing down, where do you think, so if you were to give, what's your advice to the 22-year-old getting out of college, wanting to find their way? What's your best advice to this group of people?
Okay.
Or really any entrepreneur, but specifically to Gen Z.
Well, again, this is coming from my personal views and the way I live my life. Get your spirituality together.
Number one.
Okay. If you don't understand or maybe have that type of connection, ask for it. God, I want to know you better. Help me bring those things in my life that should be there. Remove those things in my life that shouldn't be there, but bring those things, Be careful about your networking, but go out and network and try to, trust those instincts. If you feel good about something or it feels something special, you can't quite put your finger on it, dig a little bit deeper. Ask somebody for coffee. Study your mentors. Treat your parents with respect, okay? Listen to them, Study. Work like it holds the antidote to the problem, because it does.
Always.
It does.
Yeah.
In every way.
It's funny, you said basically there's these things, and you said you got to get rid of the outside influences. Sometimes the more you get rid of the outside influences, the good stuff is already there.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just clouded in all of this muddiness of stuff that's going on around you that's not helping you become the best version of yourself. Right. And that's some ways just change your influences, write things down, listen to your parents, be a good human. Right. Become spiritual, seek spirituality as a way to be able to move and propel yourself forward, and listen to your mentors. And I think, as a young man growing up, I don't feel like I valued the feedback. I took it as criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas time went on in my life, I sought feedback because it's the gift that keeps on giving, particularly from mentors or people that have respect for you, or you have respect for, that are willing to take the time in order to give it to you. And you're a testament of that.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
You're a testament of that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I recall there was a major artist that I used to manage that everybody knows his name. And it was such a tough job for me, because some of the stuff was absolutely crazy that was going on around him. And it was hard you're never going to change it. It was what it was.
Right.
I was making money, but I was having to put up with a lot. And I finally started having health issues. I seriously thought I was going to die. Something was wrong. I went to my doctor. He ran out every test known to man, came back and said, yeah, other than a little cholesterol, Bernard, you're healthy. And so what he had me do was journal everything for 2 weeks. Everything I ate, what time I went to bed, situations of work, whatever it may be. And I did it like clockwork. Turned it into my doctor. 2 weeks after that, he called me up and he said, I don't care how much money you're making on so-and-so. It's called stress. Some of this stuff is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he said, if you don't do something, you're going to die. You're going to have a heart attack.
It'll kill you.
That's what it's going to do.
That's right.
I resigned.
Yeah.
Now, was that hard? Yes, it was.
Absolutely.
Because that income was gone. But 2 months later, I felt like a new person. The doctor was absolutely right. Mm-hmm. And I replaced the business.
That's right.
So sometimes hard decisions, you don't realize that that's the best thing for you.
Yeah. It's not all about money.
No,
right?
it's not.
It's about feeling good about what you're doing and feeling good about who you're building and what you're becoming.
Let me tell you this. If you have peacefulness and you have your health, you are rich.
That's right. That's more than most the world has.
Rich.
Yeah.
I got a friend right now in intensive care, and he's got more money than he could ever spend in his life. But he would give every penny right now for his health.
Yeah.
Every penny.
Yeah.
That's how important, and the richfulness of having health. Be mindful of your health. Treat your body right. Mm-hmm. Walk, sleep, eat hydrate, right. Exercise, build for your future. Because, I want you where I am, at 65.
Yeah.
I want people thinking.
Well, you look great, man. I can tell you.
So
you never know you were 65.
Yeah, and I'm going to stop. I think I'm going to start fibbing a little bit. So God forgive me. I'm going to.
Yeah, right. I'm 45. I said, right.
I've actually passed for it before, but.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Well, Bernard, I want to thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me. Please follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, where do we find you?
Just at Bernard Porter on Instagram.
At Bernard Porter.
And there's some YouTube videos out there of inspiration that I have. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff on Google. And I'm just glad to be here, and just I'm hoping that you and I can get into something.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm game.